everyone. Welcome to Ad America TV. My name is Genara, and I am one of the e-guides here in Ad America. I hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy today. And if you're new here, Ad America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. Now we'll be starting our first session of Intensive Academic Writing, Master the Basics with Top Professors. But before we start today's session, let's spice things up with a little trivia. Our trivia question for today is, which of these is not a form of academic writing? Is it A, essay, B, business letter, C, literature review, or D, annotated bibliography? Stay tuned until the end of this event because we'll be giving a live shout out for those who can answer the question correctly. Other than that, don't forget to take a selfie and tag Ad America's Instagram account. And now, without further ado, let's give the warmest welcome to our facilitator for today's event, Isaac Y.M. Latu, PhD, Professor of Theology and Sociology Religion at Satya Wacana Christian University. Pak Isaac, the time is yours.
Okay, so thank you so much. I'll try to share my PPT you all. So here we go. Yeah. Actually, I'm in the remote area of Seram right now in the in the province of Maluku for a research and also another academic related stuff. And so I come to an office and ask for permission to sit down in this office, and it's by the tower, by the by the telecom tower. So hope that it's make clear appearance and sounds for you. So so please forgive me if cars and motorcycle passing by, because this is the best place that I can find in this remote area. So okay. So I try to put my theme for today on how to prepare an academic writing. So this is very important to prepare yourself for any academic writing, and it's based on my experience as a university professor at Satya Wacana Christian University, and also I'm also teaching at Gadjah Mada University at the Center for Religious and Cross-Cultural Studies. Currently, I'm also teaching religion in the United States of America and culture and society in United States of America at Kajian Wilayah Amerika Universitas Indonesia, so American Studies at the University of Indonesia, and also affiliated with Rutgers University in Newark, United States of America. And this sharing today, academic sharing today, is based on my experience as journal reviewer in Indonesia, but also abroad at Indonesia and Malay World, published by University of London, Islam and Christian Muslim Relations, published by University of Birmingham, and Muslim World, sorry, I forgot one word, Muslim World, published by Harvard Seminary at United States of America. But also recently I published a couple of academic pieces on COVID-19 and interreligious relationship at Bloomsbury Academic in a book edited by my colleague at Princeton Theological Seminary, but also Routledge International Handbook for Sociology and Christianity, published by a professor from Canada, and another one on Routledge handbook on social studies or social methods on social methods in indigenous studies. Um, it's edited by a professor from Princeton University, and my own book, or coming book, my book on orality, collective memory, and interreligious engagement, that will be published by Penn State University Press in the coming year. So this is based on my experience. Then I will share my experience with you, hoping that it can benefit you in many ways. The committee today informed me that the age of participant is range from 15 to 25, so I think it's very diverse. So I do hope that my experience working on academic writing will benefit you in many ways. Okay. So why writing matters in this case? Why we have to write? Why we have to put our thought into writing? And I'll say that through writing, we exchange our our knowledge, our thought. Sometimes we debate issues, but also we make dialogue with others. We promote values. We advocate change in society. So writing is basically important for many issues in our social life. Then writing is powerful tool for communication and for learning. So this is the very powerful tools for communication and for learning, including your academic learning. So you can put your thought into a clear way if you can put, or you can express your idea into a good sentences of paragraphs or a body of articles. So you can only communicate yourself clearly when you can put your idea in writing more clear. So in this case, writing does matters. It is matters for your academic life, whether you are high school students, you are university students, you are a young faculty member at universities, or you are a teacher at schools. Writing does matters in your academic atmosphere, academic milieu, in your academic communication. It is absolutely, it does matters. So we will see some myth and some fact in academic writing. And some say that good writers born. So, but in fact, people become good writers by working at writing. So, so good writers is not somebody who who born from another good writer or good author, but you can be good author when you're working on that. So when you write, and also Mead says that good writers knows what they want to say before start writing. But I will also say that sometimes writing itself, it like we prepare for writing. In my experience, that I prepare for writing. But sometimes during the process of writing itself, we reflect, we think, we discuss with other theory, then it helps us to think more deeply it sharpen our ideas. Then sometimes if we conclude our writing with something that we are surprised, although we have our thesis statement, and I will in another I think next in our next session I will help you to also understand what is uh, actually thesis statement and why we have thesis statement. But during our process of writing, sometimes, as I mentioned before, through our encounter with that data, our discussion with other theory, then it probably can 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 surprise you because your writing itself it's become like more deeply clear than also probably sharper than you think about. Uh, good writers also, like Mead say, that good writers get it right the first time. But I will say that no at all, no at all. Sometimes we can't get it right at the first time. We have to like make some drafts. Um, like taking stance in my last writing for Routledge International Handbook for Sociology and Christianity. I'll do like five drafts before it comes to like, yeah, I will say that that's better paper that can be uh, submitted as a academic paper. So it's go through many process, many drafts before it comes into your final draft. So try to write. Um, I also I write article for Compass, but also Jakarta Post. But Compass, for instance, when I was in my university time, then I write some draft of article for Compass, but it gets rejected all the time. So I try like 5 years, then I get accepted uh, by Compass, publish my opinion at Compass, and it matters a lot. It matters a lot. It helped me in many ways by only publish one article. But then when I went to United States of America for my PhD program, then I wrote many essay, many articles, many columns at the Jakarta Post for publication in that in the article in the sorry newspaper. So I will say that we have to try, keep trying. Like you have to revise yourself, you have to make it clear yourself before you send it to your professor, to your teacher, to any publisher. You have to make sure that you revise it. So I will also share some of my experience as a PhD student when I was in United States getting Fulbright scholarship for my PhD in Berkeley. Um, I some of like in my first year, because I didn't revise the the article. Nobody told me about this program, or I didn't join this workshop before. So nobody tell me about this. Nobody told me about it at the time, and I didn't really revise my paper. Submit I submitted my paper to my professor, and like the first two articles to academic papers, he said that Isaac, probably you have to learn academic writing at nearby at City College down here, Berkeley City College. So I was really like, oh, like not really like upset, yes, for myself, but also like it challenged me a lot. I said, and then I say to myself, I promise that I will prove to her that my academic writing will growing very well. So, um, so winter 2010, I spent the whole winter time only practice writing, only learn about how to produce good academic writing. Then by second semester, I took a class again, and I go through all the revision because I knows that I knew that based on book that I learned. I spent the whole winter break only to master the academic writing, and I submit my first paper in the spring semester, and she said that, oh, Isaac, this is very good academic writing. So your academic writing is now improving. So it means that we have to revise, we have to check it again because we go deep. And writing comes from knowing all rules of grammar. So this is something that we have to also think about that do we need to master the whole grammar before we write any article? So do we need to master the whole the whole grammatical rules? So my experience say that we don't probably need to know the whole academic rules before start writing something. In my case, in my experience, I will try to write, then then revise. So write and revise. Then by writing and revise, it strengthened my grammatical part, the grammatical part in my academic writing. So it's not that I start with mastering grammatical rules first, but write, and then by revise it, it will then help me strengthen my academic, my grammatical, my grammatical aspect in my writing. Okay, so good writers work alone. I will say that no, absolutely no. We need somebody else to look at our our papers in order to give us some feedback to strengthen our article. Like I will use example of my latest article on the changing of space in ICU room using autoethnographic approach, published how interreligious relations are access in ICU room. Then two of my colleagues, one from Salatiga and another one from Solo, give me feedback. I sent my paper. Please check my paper if it's grammatically correct or if any idea that not really coherence with others, so it's jumping or it it looks good. Then they come up with some suggestion. Then I use the suggestion to strengthen my article. And another example is when I was in United States of America during my dissertation academic writing at Harvard University, because I got a dissertation like scholarship for dissertation writing at Harvard University at Harvard Kennedy School. And when I was at Harvard at Harvard, I have a team. I have friends that also help me with my writing. We read each other work in order to strengthen our work. So this is very important. Work with your friends is good. So you probably need to have a team in order to to publish, to produce good writing. So writing become less important once you leave school. I'll say that no at all. It's not less important when you leave school. Like most people write every day. So it is very important in many ways. If you want to publish or you have to write something, like I told you before that sometimes you use that for debate, to argue, to be in dialogue with others. You need good argument. So it is not only a matter of schools, but it is it's our basic life. Produce a good uh, writing is actually our basic need. Only professional authors publish their work. I will say that um, like everybody can publish anything they want. Like I publish my experience being hospitalized as a patient, COVID-19 patient in the first wave or COVID-19. I went back from New York and got infected by COVID-19 in March 2020. Then it was really severe. I went through ICU room, uh, get some treatment, like very like it's really severe. Then I I write about my experience being hospitalized into a book, into a book chapter published in United States. And like a book, for instance, it is like normal book, but many people like it now. Many people like it now because it is on memoir COVID-19, and I'm using autoethnography experience, telling about what happened in ICU room, like how to respect nurses and doctors, especially nurses that they really work in the front line helping patients to get well, and they also sacrifice themselves, sacrifice their family, and it's become something that people are now like, especially like medical doctors, nurses, um, and religious and students of religious schools. They are also looking for the book. So it's not only like professional authors that publish the book, like somebody that we really look up in publication, but everybody can write. Everybody can write something. You can also try to publish your book, and some friends at publication say that book has its own destiny. So sometimes some book, they're really good book, but it's not have a good future. But book that we don't really think that will have a good future, it can be a good book. So so just keep writing. So this is the process. This is the process. So we can plan. So planning is very important here. So planning your your work, and you can also like incubating, thinking about that, prepare, read something, but then you start drafting. You can do start drafting and revising, and you can also after that you can read it again. You can do some research again. Then it goes again to planning, incubating, and revising. So in my case, after I will do planning, like I will do points. Then I grab my paper according to the points. Then I will take some time incubating, think about that, like read that again, if that makes sense or not. Find so think also about the theory that I'm using, that I use in my paper, if that be to my context, it is also go in line with my methods or not, and then revising, editing, proofreading again. So it's like the process that you will go and check that very carefully. And if you work and check that very carefully, you will publish a good article. So planning, incubating, drafting, revising, editing, proofreading, preparing again. So it's like circle like that, but it's like goes like spiral. So it's go up uh, as you pass one step, you will find another step, and I believe that it will go bigger and bigger, and you will find good writing after all. So this is how you define your purpose or purposes in writing. So decide your own hope, your own goal. Decide what you hope to accomplish. So this is very important. You have your own goal. Why you like taking example of my latest book, Memoir COVID-19 Ethnography Lintas Benua. I write the book because I want to tell the story about what happened in ICU room. So many COVID-19 patients already published book, but not many publish the story of ICU room, or I will say the non-publish a story about ICU room from patient, especially like patient in critical stage in ICU room. So I have to publish the book in order to give some knowledge, some awareness of what happened inside. So also to respect nurses inside the COVID-19 room. I said before that they sacrificed their life, but they're also their family lives in order to help patient to get well. So this is important. I want to tell a story about that, especially inspired by a nurse named Sunia that helped me a lot in the process of treatment, and I published the book, so I have courage inside. And also, second, consider how other elements in writing situations shape your goals. So what elements inside the writing? So I will also think about my children, that one day they will also read this book, learning about their father experience fighting COVID-19 in the hospital, but also fighting stigma outside hospital, fighting racism, and when their father was in United States of America during the first stage of COVID-19. But also, another elements that are very important is I would like to also emphasize interreligious relationship during COVID-19. That when I was in the hospital, my my student at Satyawachana, they pray according to Christian prayer. My interreligious student at Gajah Mada University, CRCS students, they also pray for me according to their religions. But also my senior at CRCS, she is a Yemeni Indonesia, and they have Hadramaut family in Solo that very strong in Islamic conviction. But also, when I was in the hospital, they conduct special prayer for me, like do Hadramaut family pray for me as a Christian. It's very important. Also, Nadatul Ulama, like youth Nadatul Ulama in Semarang, they also pray for me. So this is like interreligious relations that I have to post. My Jewish, Buddhist, Hindus friends in US and also in Indonesia, they also pray for me. That this is the element that I have to also consider. Then it's helped me to write the book. Then how do you present yourself to reader? So the reader that you are credible. So in memoir COVID-19, I saw my reader that I'm credible in telling the story about COVID-19 in ICU room because I was hospitalized in ICU room for almost a month. So when I tell about the changing of room, like from a room in a hospital named anteroom. Anteroom is a room between patient room and hallway. It is a hospital designed to negatify the virus in the room. But then during COVID-19, it's become like the prayer room means before they, like doctor and nurses, they entering patient room, they will pray. Why they pray? Because the the rate, angka kematian dokter dan pasien sangat tinggi. That's why they have to pray before they enter the room. So in my writing, I put that as ante-sacred room. And if you go check ante-sacred room, then it's published. It's will published by August. And if you go and search ante-sacred room, only me that published on that ante-sacred room. So present material fairly and honestly, like what I saw in the ICU room and my experience. I try to tell that from my heart. So become fairly honestly, because if you write that from your heart, like means you're friendly, fairly and honestly, then your reader also will read that. Then they will sense that if you write from your heart. So be generous to those who disagree with you. This is very important. As a as a writer, we have to be ready to be criticized, or if people disagree with us. When people disagree with us, we have to also consider their critics, but also try to put the critics in your mind. Think about that. Some theory also mention about implied reader. So who is your reader? So how you convince your reader? So you be generous to those who disagree with you, to accept the critic, but also in order to address the critic, brainstorm. So think about many possibilities. So assess your interest and strength. So you think about yourself, what's your interest and what is your strength? In my case, because I'm interested in issue of interreligious relationship, I also like interest in issue. I'm interested in issue of like how democracy, how people build democracy, how people accept each other, how people develop civil society understanding. Then my writing, many of my writing goes in this line, and it's also strength. My writing, like my coming book, will emphasize. Sorry about that. So in my coming book, I emphasize like orality, kalisanan in interreligious relationship. So why Penn State University really wants to publish this book? Because this book will be like the first book on interreligious relation that taking orality and collective memory seriously into interreligious relationship. So this will be like groundbreaking for how orality involved in interreligious studies. So consider current issues in your community. So consider current issues like in my book, uh, many people want to buy that, and some want my signature on that and special notes on that, because COVID-19 is like, it is the current issues, the issue that we are now facing. So issues that why we are now in online workshop. So this is issues that we probably need to address from our interest and strength. And also, bros, in library, you have library, you have library in your school, your universities, that you probably will try to browse in that, but also browse online. Many articles, many books that published online, many articles that you can also uh, check it out from many websites. So think about that, and you will have like good topics, and also, like I will say, that brainstorm thing, discuss with your friends, then discuss with your colleagues, discuss with your circle, discuss with your professor, discuss with your teacher. Then you will come up with good topics. Then also refine your topic. Don't try to cover everything. Means you have to focus, highlight single area of your topic. Like in COVID-19 case, I will have millions of subtopics from COVID-19. But I myself try to focus on story from ICU room, or story related to interreligious relation. That this is from my experience, but also my expertise. That is become like how I highlight the single topic from the area of COVID-19. So try to also make make a tree diagram, or make an idea map that you will also connect one idea to others. Like you can use the machine, the program to write it down, but also if you have good handwriting, you can also sit down and try to make it yourself. Help you think about many possibilities, connection between one subtopic to another subtopics. Then I think it will help you in many ways. So write a draft, like I said before, that think about draft. Your in my case, my latest article for Routledge International Handbook for Sociology and Christianity, I drafted it for 5 times before I submit it to the editors. So find a place to write, gather your equipment. So in my case, I sometimes I run to Starbucks to get the place for writing. I can write at home, but sometimes not my kids that bother me, but I bother them. So sometimes I play with them, then I forget about my work. So so I will probably go outside in a cafe, or in Starbucks, or in other local cafe. If you feel comfortable with that, you can sit down and write. If you feel like library is your place of writing, do that. If you feel like your your rooms at home, or your room in Koskosan, for instance, can be also another place for writing. So find another place for writing and create it yourself. So gather your equipment. So for me, because I like music while writing, so I have to bring the headset like this to cafe or any places, or sometimes go to another cafe without music, but bringing like small sound systems, speakers that can help me to create the milieu, the atmosphere I like. So keep the ideas coming. So keep writing, keep ideas coming. Write the poem and try to put it into sentences or paragraph. So then don't criticize yourself or edit yourself while writing prematurely. So you have to also try to develop your ideas. Don't be like don't criticize yourself too much. Give some rooms for ideas to to be developed and grow up. So set your own pace. So you will find you will find situation that you like, and anything that can help you to connect with your writing or produce your idea more. So get feedback from other writers. This is what I do. That I say before that I get also feedback from friends. Drop on computer so that you can make some changes easily. So I drop that on my computer. My technique is like this: that if I drop it on April 5, I will then put it as a as a title of the file. So April 5. So April 6, I will also put the April 6. So I will see the development of my articles day to day. And sometimes if I don't really work for like 2 or 3 days, by look at the the file itself, the name of the file, I will also find out myself that I didn't work with that for many days. For how many days? So this is the way I help myself think about that. So drop it on computer, but sometimes I have my notes right when I travel around that I didn't have a chance to open my computer. I can write it down, the point on the small book notes. Then I will put that into computer. So when should you take a break? So sometimes you have to take break. So I myself, I will take break like 30 minutes. But before I take break, I will then put point that I will continue with this. Like I will put like dot 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 this idea. So I know that after break I will continue with this idea. So otherwise, sometimes for some people, including me, when you take break and you forget about the ideas that you will you will develop your paper. So I'll put dot dot dot, then topics, then subtopics that I will continue. So don't use incubation as an excuse for procrastination. So sometimes we use the incubation too much, but in order to do procrastination, so don't do that. So just take some time. Like for my instance, I like every like 30 minutes I will like walk to another place like probably 5 meters for like 5 minutes, and then come back again to my writing, or like keep thinking about something while I'm walking, then come back to your writing. Or you can just print it out, read it again, or print it out, like keep it until tomorrow, read it again, and you can have an idea to continue. So you need to break yourself, especially if you feel tired writing. So revision is very important here. So you will then, after you drop your paper, you have to revise it. So think about your purpose, your audience, your content, organization of your writing and editing. Also look at the styles. You have styles, but if you publish for a journal, they might have style. Or you publish for a book, they might give you guidance. Like the latest book chapter for Routledge International Handbook, it is should um, go with American Sociological Association style, and emphasize tone. This is very important. Emphasize and tune. Emphasize. So now I'm writing handbook, another Routledge handbook that I said before. That another Routledge handbook for social methods in indigenous studies. And when the editor sent me invitation, they send me they ask me, or they emphasize on method, like social method, how we use social method, or how we produce new method in studying um, interreligious or indigenous issues. Sorry. So this is the basic, or this is foundation that we have to think about. Like when we edit our uh, draft, think about, do we answer this question, or do we address the theme that the editor posts when they invite me? Anyway, this is like footnote. So this is for handbook. I got invitation, but for another handbook that I already submit my paper, so I have to compete in abstract competition. So send the abstract, and when editor find out that you have good abstract, you have promising abstract, then they will invite you to write. But for some handbook, they invite us to write something. It's like also journal articles. For journal articles, in annual review of sociology of religion 2019, I have to compete with others. So they accept my paper and they publish it. But in another journal, I got invitation, like in last Muslim World publication, they invite me to write about how Christian Muslim relationship can contribute to world interreligious studies. But I canceled it because I get COVID at the time. So, but they invite me to write, to publish something on the journal. So this is at the end of catatan kaki, and I come back to this one. We'll also have proofreading. So you have like format, mechanic that you have to think about that. The final draft. Make sure that you don't make any spelling, or you make sure that you have good supporting data, supporting argument. Make sure that one paragraph to another paragraph, you have connection. You don't jump from paragraph into another paragraph without any connecting word or connecting part that you have to think about. And so this is also writing for academic forum that do like how you review, define your territory. I already mentioned that, but this is something that you have to think about. Support your claim, understand evidence, document sources, prepare professional looking work that you have to think about that. This is very important. Like professional looking work. Ini penting sekali teman-teman, terutama teman-teman dosen muda mungkin. Kalau kita menulis untuk artikel, untuk jurnal artikel, atau kita menulis untuk book chapter, contohnya, di situ banyak editor, termasuk saya ketika jadi editor di Indonesia, reviewer di Indonesia and Malay World, atau di Islam and Christian Muslim Relation Journals, World Christianity also di Amerika. Itu yang dicari adalah dia punya professional voice. Jadi tidak hanya kutip sana sini atau hanya menulis data tanpa analisis dan abstraksi mendalam. Tapi di jurnal-jurnal seperti begini, yang bagus kita harus naik ke arah abstraksi. Tulisan saya tentang anteroom di diskusi workshop dengan Social Science Research beberapa waktu yang lalu. Salah satu editor bilang, ini tulisanmu bagus sekali tentang anti-secret room ini. Jadi ini menurut mereka tulisan bagus sekali. Mengapa itu bagus? Karena saya tidak cerita hanya tentang saya melihat perawat dan dokter yang berdoa di anteroom sebelum masuk ke ruang pasien, tapi saya naik ke arah like um, sebelumnya itu ruang ini adalah ruang untuk menegatifkan virus, tapi setelah COVID-19 ini berubah menjadi ruang doa. Mengapa ruang doa? Karena begini, begini, begini. Lalu kemudian saya naik ke aras, ini ada sesuatu yang baru yang namanya ante-secret room. So, here you have to show your academic professional. So you have to show your voice. Ini yang paling penting. Your voice is matters in this case as a scholar. Jadi especially for para yang faculty member, kalau mau maju ke S3 atau yang mau menulis sesuatu, voice-mu itu menjadi penting. Academic voice menjadi penting. Jadi bukan hanya kutip sana kutip sini atau hanya sekedar menyampaikan data, tapi apa? What is your voice? It's your judgment? What is your academic review? What is your academic proposal when you use certain data in your writing? So how do you read and think critically? This is very important. You review your text yourself, look up unfamiliar term, slow down, annotate, write summary and synthesis. This is very important. And also in critical thinking, you cultivate an attitude of inquiry. So think about that, finding data and discuss about that. Read as believers, but also the doubters. So as believers in one point, but also doubters in others. So you make your point like discussion, and so you don't only like trap in one single point, in one single assumption, but also try to make it in debate or make it in dialogue with other perspectives. So assess the writer's qualification and look carefully at the evidence. Look closely at writer's claims when you use some others' idea, but also your claims. Think about that. Like take some distance with yourself, like zoom in and zoom out. Sometimes you have to zoom out, like put yourself as readers but another self of you as writers, and try to look at that if your claim is strong enough or your claim is not strong enough. So you have to also think about that. So look for unstated assumption. So what are your unstated assumption here? What assumption that means in your paper? So not contradiction. Check for bias. The bias is very important. So think about that. So sometimes like technical writing, like you want to say something, like in Indonesian case, you say like dia ingin mengatakan yang begini. But in English you say that he say something like that. But you never know that the author is actually a she or a he. But then you use he. This is bias. This is gender bias in your writing. So you have to use that as a neutral to include both genders or another gender. So resist black and white thinking. So means that you will find some common ground, or if you have like debate and dialogue in your articles, but you also think about that. So accept many ideas. Don't only think that your idea is good and other idea is not. So you don't really think about that or even check the basic assumption of that. So you have to go beyond and think about that. So use also some visual text in your writing. If you have some graphic or another visual text that you're probably gonna use that carefully, but also explain about what is that, what is the visual text, what is actually graphic, in order to help your reader understand. And also like yeah, with powerful argument, look for your claim, consider unsettled beliefs or warrant, recognize qualifier. What is this qualifier or not? And also clarify your claim, get a reasons and evidence, evaluate your evidence, identify your warrant or unstated beliefs. This is very important. Like think about yourself. This is the proofreading part. Revising also proofreading, revise in order to get the strong assumption and also a publishable article. So I think this is especially like this, like writing under pressure. So you have to find your strategy with your write under pressure. In my case, I like write every day. As I said before, I will put in the title of the file. So I will try to write myself for like every day, even though it's only like couple of sentences or one paragraph, or sometimes even if it can be like 700 words a day, but try to have your own strategy. Figure out what the question is asking to do. This is like I said, like create sense of like implied readers in your mind. When you write like you are discuss your idea, you're arguing, you're trying to convince somebody else um, with your ideas. So convince people and try to debate, try to argue, try to uh, push strong argument in order to come up with good writing. So I think that's all, friends. It's almost like I saved some couple of minutes. Um, so I think that's all for my experience. Hoping that it's helped you when you when you prepare your writing, when you're in process of writing, you can help yourself. Like this is my experience, but you can also share your experience. We everybody have their own experience. Everybody have their working style, their atmosphere that they can also share with us here. So thank you again. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to discuss with you in Q&A section. So thank you. Thank you. So I have a wall there in my working desk. So I put those connecting word there. So when I write, I will check that. I will then try to consult that if it's already there, if that's connected or not. So you can also Google that in internet. Uh, I'll probably can help if you uh, join our second session. I will probably share that. Uh, so, but this is an important question, Anton. Why it's important? Because connecting sentence and paragraph is very important. Like especially when we try to learn English from our Bahasa Indonesia Foundation, because in Bahasa Indonesia, in a paragraph, uh, our teachers say that um, like key argument can be in the first sentence, or sentence in the middle, or sentence at the end. But in English, normally we will put our key argument in the first sentence. So when our reader read our first sentence, they will then find our key argument in the sentence. But this is very important. This is important question, Anton, uh, to make your writing better. Mario, thank you for your question again. What is the best way to filter and determine the final title we want to write? Thank you. So Mario, in my case, I have like uh, temporary title Mario, but then after I write, I am thinking I'm like drafting, revising again. Then I can then revise the title. So the title, like the very final title, it's like it's come after you finish the whole article. Then you will have your final title. Yeah, Mario, this is important because sometimes because we have our title and we think that this is fixed title, then probably our title can go in line, or it's probably explain something else when people go through the whole article. So I will say that based on my experience again, I will say that I will post my fixed article after I write or I draft, I proofread the whole article. So Mario, that's according to my experience at least. Thank you, Mario. Malinda, thank you again for your question. Do you always proofread your writing? Is there anything we can do if we don't have someone to proofread our writing? Melinda, thank you. In my case, I will say like this: like my professor in United States, why she said that my academic writing is bad? It's basically because I didn't proofread myself before I send it. So try to at least proofread yourself. Uh, if you, when you read it and you feel that your sentence is not really working, the paragraph is not really connected to another paragraph, then it's probably the same sense for other readers, that they probably also feel about that. That uh, it's not uh, good writing because it does not connect another sentence to others and another paragraph to others. So think about that. But now they have like in online they have many grammar checker, or you can check, you can proofread your writing online. uh, for my last publication, before I send it, I also use one online proofread program that that uh, helped me. And then luckily my university have that connection, so it helped me a lot. I use that to proofread my articles before I send it. So you can use that, like use yourself. Like in my experience, the first step is proofread ourselves. Proofread it ourselves. Then, if you can have friends. Friends can help, or you can go check it online in some online proofreading program. I won't say what is the program. You find it out because many, but you will find one online program that's suitable for you. So thank you again, Malinda. That's a good question, and also Anton and Maria. Oh, another question by Mas Muhammad Sapar, Mas Muhammad Syafar. Sorry, I'm sorry for drink some water in front of you. I forgot that this is fasting month. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, sorry, my bad. Uh, okay, Mas Sapar, sorry, nobody says something about that. Not even a, a friend reminds me, but as I read your name and I realize that I forget that this is fasting month. Sorry, I apologize for that. Uh, Mas Sapar, thank you for the question. Would you like to share tips or trick how we can formulate the best conclusion in our article? Not only answering research question, but also include recommendation to the research. Yes, Masabar, you already answered that question. This is a very important question, and you already saying that you emphasize again your key point when you addressing your research question. This is very important. Then also like put a recommendation if you have any, then you can put that for your conclusion. But again, I will also I will emphasize that again answer your research question. The main point that you have in article. Sometimes people bring something else into conclusion, but not. Only emphasize your key point again, and if you have further recommendation for research, then you can do that. So, okay, thank you so much, friends, for your questions and your participation. I appreciate that, and thank you so much again for bearing with me as I'm now online from remote area of Seram Island. And I thank you so much for American for invite me to share some idea and experience with friends here. So Ara, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Izak, for today's session. I hope that everyone joining today can gain a lot of knowledge and insights. Okay, so earlier in this session, we asked audience members a trivia question, and that question was, which of these is not a form of academic writing? Is it A, essay, B, business letter, C, literature review, or D, annotated bibliography? And the correct answer to that is B, business letter. Shout out goes out to @MarioPSCL from Instagram for answering the question correctly. And thank you to everyone else who has also participated on our question of the day. Now you may be wondering, how can I develop an awesome idea for AdAmerica? It's very easy. You can visit our website at www.atamerica.or.id, and then you can select create an event and collaborate with us. All event proposals coming to us will be reviewed, and your event might be featured with us soon. And then you can also follow our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook at ATAmerica for our event updates, fun content, and so much more. Don't forget as well to follow us on our YouTube channel and also newsletter. With that, it is time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Genara, and see you soon at the next AdAmerica event. Bye.